Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 6th edition of Talkdeath, Canadian Funeral Law with Nathan Romagnoli and Janet McCausland. Hi, Nathan.
Hello, everybody.
And hi, Janet.
Hello.
So Wallace Finch would like to know, is there support in the industry, in the profession, for death doulas?
Janet, do you know, have you encountered this at all?
I don't know about death doulas. I mean, in any different than death midwives. I assume it's sort of the same thing.
Yes.
I know that there's training available in the U.S. I haven't really heard of anything available in Canada. I do know that there's actually in Mississauga they have a big event, like a community event coming up at the Unitarian Church, where they're inviting all sorts of different professionals, and I believe there's one coming to that. So so that's sort of what I know about the death midwifery.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What about your experience, Nathan? Have you worked with any death doulas or death midwives, and maybe other fellow funeral directors, how they feel about it?
It's interesting because a lot of funeral directors, traditional funeral directors that have sort of grown up through the process we do in Ontario to be a funeral director, have branched into that side of becoming sort of death coaches and such. So I've had a number of discussions with specific individuals that have tried to broach the topic and have tried to figure out how do we. There's legal limitations with respect to death midwifery and doulas and such in Ontario. So we've been approached to try to figure out how they can bridge the gap between what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do, and then how perhaps we together could be able to facilitate that to bring a family a more wholesome experience. So what Janet touched on, a lot of education coming from the United States. Some of it is peaking up north to where we are here in Canada, and that's nice to see. We need these doors to be knocked on and doors to be opened to our own society, and we need like-minded professionals that grasp the concept of positive alternatives, again, back into our communities and figure out how to work with our legislation to allow these things to be done.
Just to add to Nathan's point in terms of people asking questions, and that to me was the biggest thing that I found when I was working on this, is that people, as you said, encounter death once or twice in their life. They have to deal with it. They go to the funeral home around the corner, the one that they've been to before or that's close by, and they haven't necessarily done their homework. So there's so much more available online, and communities like this one are helping to really educate people, which is terrific. But like the embalming fluid, for example, there are more environmentally friendly options, that aren't as damaged, that aren't as harmful to the person who is preparing the body. Who's asking questions about that? We just sort of take it as given that, and I think that's why there are so many regulations in the industry. But you have to ask questions, you have to do your homework, shop around, and it sort of seems like not necessarily tacky or the thing to do, but ask questions about price, ask questions, until you get a really good answer, one that you're comfortable with and you think that's going to work for your family.